You know that old saying, we were promised jetpacks? It's supposed to capture that feeling of a future full of amazing promise. But what if, instead of a jetpack, we're actually being handed a grenade? That's really the core tension with AI today. And in this explainer, we're going to break down both sides of that story.
So, is this technology going to be the jetpack that propels us into some unimaginable future, a true 10x world? Or is it the grenade, a disruptive force so powerful that it could just blow up entire industries, careers, and maybe even the way our whole society functions? This is the central question we're really digging into. Okay, so let's start with the good stuff, the jetpack. What does that incredible, optimistic future even look like? Well, it's a world where AI is a tool for exponential progress, solving problems we once thought were totally impossible. And this is the kind of stuff you hear from people who've actually seen a piece of the future. After getting a rare peek inside Tesla's Optimus lab, Jason Calacanis from the All In podcast came out and said he believes the Optimus robot will be the single most transformative product in history. He's talking about a future with one robot for every single human. I mean, that isn't just an improvement. That's a whole new reality.
And look, this isn't just some theory. Tesla's AI is already hitting the streets. Their autonomous cybercab system is expanding at a wild pace, testing in every kind of environment you can imagine, from the scorching heat of Arizona to the brutal winters of Chicago. This is real-world stuff, happening right now. The promise here goes way beyond just robots and cars, too. There's a startup in the UK called Basecamp Research, and they're using these massive AI systems. They call them foundation models. And what they're doing is training it on the DNA of over 1 million species to basically mimic billions of years of evolution. The goal? To solve genetic diseases and create new antibiotics. I mean, that is the jetpack in action. So what is making all this happen so unbelievably fast? What's the engine behind this acceleration? Well, it turns out the speed itself is a key part of the story, and it's completely changing the rules of the game.
You've probably heard of Moore's Law, right? Where computing power doubled every 2 years. Well, that's been left in the dust. We are now living in the era of a new Moore's Law for AI, where capabilities are just on a much, much faster exponential curve. It's why we all have that feeling that we're struggling to keep up. So how fast are we talking? 7 months. That is how long it now takes for the raw computing power needed for AI to double. At a pace like that, things that sounded like pure science fiction just last year are reality today. And of course, the money is following. Moody's, and they're known for being super conservative, is predicting that another $3 trillion is going to be invested into the data center industry in just the next 5 years. This isn't a bubble. It's a foundational industrial build-out on a scale we have rarely ever seen. But here's the catch. The biggest bottleneck isn't even getting the AI chips. The CEO of Microsoft has said he literally has warehouses full of chips that he can't plug in because there isn't enough electricity. The physical world is struggling to keep up. It can take 4 years just to get a power transformer and up to 8 years to get a new connection to the electrical grid. The digital revolution is slamming into a very real, very analog wall. This incredible speed and the massive investment it all requires creates this super high-stakes environment. The fear of being left behind is forcing even the biggest companies to make these huge, risky bets on where the future is going. And when you bet billions of dollars on the wrong horse, the results can be, well, catastrophic. I mean, just take Meta. While the AI revolution was really starting to build steam, they bet the entire company on the metaverse. They spent an eye-watering $73 billion. They were just looking in the completely wrong direction, and the result was a massive failed project. It's a stunning example of what happens when you miss the real technological wave. And then you've got a company like Amazon, and they're in a really tricky spot. On one hand, you have new AI agents that can search the whole internet for the best deals, which directly threatens their e-commerce business. But on the other hand, their own $50 billion investment in AI infrastructure is so big that it's making Wall Street nervous. They have to invest to survive, but the investment itself is a huge risk. Okay, so now let's talk about the grenade. This is where AI stops being a tool for just making things better and starts becoming a force of pure disruption, threatening to completely blow up entire industries that were built over decades. This is where things get truly mind-bending. A single developer, using a hypothetical future AI like GPT 5.2 as their partner, built a fully functional web browser from scratch. 3 million lines of code in 1 week. Just think about that.
Companies like Microsoft spent decades and billions of dollars just trying to compete with Google Chrome. Now, one person can do it in a week. This is what people are calling one-shot creation. This leads to a profound and, frankly, a terrifying question for an entire industry. If a single person can create immensely complex software almost instantly, what is the value of software? What happens to giants like Salesforce or Oracle when their main product can just be created on demand? The grenade is ticking. And this brings us to the most difficult part of the whole story, the direct impact on people. Because when you talk about disruption on this scale, you're really talking about jobs, careers, and people's livelihoods. And this isn't hypothetical. Major tech and consulting firms are laying off thousands and thousands of employees. And yeah, sure, a lot of factors are at play, but these layoffs are happening at the exact same moment these companies are pouring billions into AI to drive efficiency. The connection is pretty hard to ignore. And let's be really clear about what's happening. This trend isn't just about companies trying to get leaner. It's about a fundamental shift from human labor to AI agents. Companies will first just stop hiring for certain roles, and then they will actively begin to reduce headcount, replacing those functions with AI. This is a move towards replacement. If you want to understand the new corporate mindset, look at this number. The consulting firm McKinsey has 40,000 human employees. Their stated goal? To have 40,000 AI agents working right alongside them. They are literally counting AI agents as headcount on their org charts. That's a shocking glimpse into the future of work. So we come right back to where we started. The 10x future of jetpacks is absolutely accelerating, but so is the disruptive power of the grenade. And both are being built at the same time by the same people with the same exact technology. So the question isn't just which one you'll be holding, it's whether we can even steer the jetpack without pulling the pin on the grenade.